I got a message recently from a publisher in Europe called William Tyndale Publishers Limited, and they said, "Hey Tim, we'd like to send you a copy of our facsimile edition of the 1534 William Tyndale New Testament." I took a look at this online and immediately said, yes, please send me that. If you've read my book, Bible Translations for Everyone, you know that I talk about William Tyndale and how important he was in the history of the Bible in English. And this is a facsimile copy of his 1534 edition. It's really nice. It's got this little slip cover on the outside, but I like to take it off, and on the outside of the case itself, it's just a brown hardcover Bible, very simple, with a red ribbon. This was printed and bound by Royal Youngblood in the Netherlands. Incredibly nice paper, and when you open it up, you can see they've scanned an original copy of this and then reproduced it on this creamy paper. You can see every edge of the Bible. It's absolutely beautiful. So cool to see how this looks and to kind of spend some time with this. It's not easy to read, by the way. It's in this Old English style. I'll put a ribbon here in John chapter 1. The Gospel of St. John, the first chapter. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God, with a little woodcut illustration in there and some notes on the page. This is very, very cool, very highly done. It's about $65 on their website, which is TyndaleBible1534.com. It's very small. I was surprised by the size, but it's based on the measurements of the original 1534 New Testament, 4.5 inches wide, 6 3/4 inches tall, 2 1/4 inches thick. And remember, it's only the New Testament. So it is a beefy little Bible. Really, really cool. I think it turned out great. But I'm going to be honest with you. I sat down and tried to think about how I was going to talk to you about this Bible, and it's just so different that it made me start thinking about that. I did a video the other day on my channel where I talked about 4 different types of Bibles that I think everyone should have: a reading Bible, a writing Bible, a study Bible, and a portable Bible. And I wouldn't necessarily slot this into any one of those categories. I don't think you're going to sit down and read this every day, because the old historic typesetting is not super friendly for just reading. You can read this Bible. It's clear, it's legible, but it's going to take some work and take some effort. It's probably not something that you're going to want to mark in and write up. It doesn't have study notes and things like that. So if it's not in one of those categories, what is this? Well, this is what I would call a novelty Bible. Now, hear me out. I think some people hear the word novelty and they think a gimmick, right? Something that's trying to pull a fast one on people. But the definition of novelty is the quality of being new, original, or unusual. And I do think that this is an original, unusual in a good way idea, but it's not your typical Bible. Most of my reviews are like, hey, here's a great Bible that you can read and study from. Is this Bible right for you? That's what I'm trying to do on my channel. This is something a little bit different. It's a novelty Bible. And you know what? I've reviewed a lot of novelty Bibles, now that I think about it. Here's a handful, right? There's these little Bibles that are like pocket Bibles or like New Testaments. This is called the FLIPBACK edition that opens this way. Thomas Nelson did that. Really cool. The manuscript Gospels, individual books of the Gospels. The Alabaster Bible is very, very famous. I've reviewed tons of those over the years. People talk about those all the time, and they sell so many of those, and they look like coffee table books, right? They're definitely a novelty style Bible. This right here is one that came to mind. Tiny Bible. It's literally what it's called. It's a tiny Bible. It comes with a magnifying glass. I reviewed this last year. Really cool. I'll put a link to that video in the description of this one. But I don't think you're going to want to read this Bible every day. You can, because they include a magnifying glass with it. But it's more of a novelty than anything else. I mean, they say on their website you can take this Bible into places where it's not very safe to always have the Bible on you, and that's a good point. But it's something a little bit different. It's what I would call a novelty. It is unique. It's a little bit unusual. Bear with me now. I know that this Bible is divisive, but I would call the God Bless the USA Bible a novelty Bible. Yes, it's a full-size Bible. Yes, it's got the full text of the KJV in there, although, as I said in my original review last year, it's not very well designed as far as the typesetting goes. It's not very easy to read. But the selling point they have for this Bible is the extra material that's in it, right? The Constitution, the God Bless the USA lyrics, the Bill of Rights, those sorts of things. They're really selling on the fact that Donald Trump endorsed it. That's one of the main things they're doing. Now they're selling it in like autographed editions for $1,000 and camouflage editions and limited edition pink colorways and stuff like that. But to me, these are all what I would call novelty Bibles. They're not kind of in one of those categories of things that you're going to sit down and read every day, but that doesn't mean that they're not something you might want to consider having in your Bible library? And when I think about it, I think there are maybe 3 reasons why you would want to consider getting a Bible like this and adding it to your library. I'll use the Tyndale 1534 Bible as an example. So number 1 is enjoyment. I genuinely enjoy this. It's not going to be something that I'm going to sit down every day and do my Bible devotions with or do my daily Bible reading with, because it's just not that easy to read because of the typesetting and everything. But I really love the history of the Bible. I think William Tyndale was an incredibly important figure in the history of the Bible, and he gave his life to put this together. I'm never going to be able to afford one of those original copies of this that's out there on eBay or on those sites, the auction sites, that sort of thing. But I can have this, and I can refer to it. And when I think about the history of the Bible, I can flip through it, and I can check different passages in it against my updated Bibles, my new Bibles. I think that's awesome. It's just something I'm personally going to enjoy. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is collectability. Now, I know this kind of gets into a murky area. Should we collect Bibles, that sort of thing? But I think a lot of us have collectible tendencies, right? Like you can see the guitars in my videos. I have guitars hanging on the wall. I got guitars all over my house. I've been a musician my entire life. I love the guitar, and I own a bunch of them. I've collected a lot of guitars over the years, and clearly I collect Bibles. I got into this because of Bible reviewing, but I like to have representations of different things that different publishers make. And so I think if you want to have something that's more of a collectible to you, I think that's great. Honestly, that's what a lot of people said in the comments of my video about the God Bless the USA Bible. I said, I'm not really sure that I said, I wish this Bible didn't exist. I don't like the conflating all the American documents into the Bible. And some people said, hey, it's just a collectible. It's celebrating America. It's celebrating the election, whatever. And it's like, I guess that's a reasonable reason to have a Bible like this. You want a collectible Bible. I would argue that it's not so collectible because they've now made hundreds of thousands of copies of them and shipped them over for China, but I don't even know how many copies they're making of this. My guess is it's not that many, but to have something like that is pretty cool. Now, the third reason I think is one of the most interesting reasons to have a novelty Bible, and that is to be a conversation starter. Now imagine I've got this Bible sitting on my coffee table downstairs, and Becca and I have some friends over for dinner, and someone goes, hey Tim, what's that little book? I go, oh, this is what the first Bible translated from the original languages into English looked like. This is William Tyndale's New Testament from the 1500s, and I can open this up and show it to him, and we can start a conversation about the Bible. Maybe those are friends who have been lifelong Christians and have read the Bible a lot, but they've never heard the story of William Tyndale and all the work he did and how he gave his life for the Bible to be translated in English. How cool would that be for them to know that story? Maybe it's a friend of mine who's not a person of faith, and now we're having a conversation about the Bible. I think that's a really great thing for this to be a conversation starter. So again, I thought, how am I going to talk to you about a Bible like this? And I think really the best way to do it is this category of novelty Bibles. These are different kind of Bibles that, again, I don't think we're necessarily going to sit down and read every day, that it's going to make sense for you to do your daily reading and your devotions with a Bible like this. But I do think there's some cool reasons to add something like this to your Bible library, whether that's just because you enjoy it, it's a collectible thing, or you want to have a great conversation starter with other people in your life. I really like things like this. Again, you can find this Bible at TYNDALEBible1534.com. They've done a great job with this. I really appreciate them sending it to me. I'm definitely going to be sharing this with my friends and family and putting it in a place in my home, like I said, where I can talk about it and have some conversations, and I'll be referring back to it as I think about the history of the Bible in the future. I'm sure this will pop up in some more of my videos right here on YouTube. If you have any questions about this, please drop those in the comments and I will get back to you with the response. I've done some videos on almost all of these Bibles over here as well, so I will put links to those videos in the video description. And if you enjoyed this video, click that like button for me. That really does help the YouTube algorithm. You like the video, it tells them that they will want to share this video with other people so that they will find my channel and get to know more about these Bibles and the Bible in general. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and click that notifications bell so YouTube will let you know when my next video comes out. This was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.